Hello, muscle children. My name is Justin Gosselin. I'm a strength and conditioning specialist and founder of GymSpot, the world's best gym locator. This is the first in a curriculum-esque video series on human nutrition and metabolism. So in classic Drake fashion, we are starting from the bottom with basic cellular biology 101. I know. Boring as hell. But it's important to me that GymSpot become an institution in this industry, and I want our content to reflect that. So what is a cell actually? Well, they can be defined as the basic living, structural, and functional units inside the body. There are kind of two overarching classifications of cells, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotic cells do not have a defined nucleus, and they're usually smaller and more simple. Eukaryotic cells do have a defined nucleus, and they're usually bigger, more complicated. So now let's talk about the architecture of any generic cell. The plasma membrane is what surrounds the cell, allowing it to be its own thing. Membrane proteins give biological membranes their functions like gates, pumps, receptors, energy transducers, things like that. And it's important to note that membranes are not static or rigid. Cells are literally microscopic, so they need to be flexible. The cytoskeleton, which, as you could have guessed, provides structure to the cell, and it has three distinct components: microtubules, microfilaments, and intermediate filaments. They are dynamic and capable of reorganization. Think about them like a network that directs movement of materials within a cell. Cytoplasm, or the focus of every low-budget sci-fi movie, is kind of a gel-like aqueous substance. It kind of fills the cell, also connects various parts of it. And this interconnection creates a structure that allows signals generated in one part of a cell to be transmitted quickly to another part of the cell. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. In other words, it's the primary site of oxygen use in a cell, and it's responsible for most of the metabolic energy produced in that cell, or ATP. Ribosomes have two distinct subunits. They are made up of RNA, which we'll discuss later, and protein. And their function is to read our RNA and synthesize new protein. I know that sounds kind of redundant, but stay with me. Ribosomes that are free-floating within the cytoplasm are used to synthesize proteins that are used inside the cell, whereas membrane-bound ribosomes are used to synthesize protein used outside of the cell. Now, the endoplasmic reticulum is kind of like a network of channels throughout the cytoplasm of a cell, and it helps provide continuity amongst many different parts. It's also a quality control organelle in that it prevents proteins that haven't reached their final form yet from reaching the cell surface. It's a structure for communication between different parts of the cell. In skeletal muscle, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is called the sarcoplasmic reticulum, and it's the site of the calcium ion pump, which is critical for muscle contraction and performance. And now the Golgi apparatus you can think of it as like a teammate to the endoplasmic reticulum. It helps sort and move proteins being synthesized within a cell, and it is also a site for membrane differentiation. In other words, it's going to help a cell become more specific so it can do its job where it needs to be done. The nucleus is the largest of the organelles in a cell. It's the brains of the operation, and it helps regulate cellular activity. And it's the membrane surrounding the nucleus that contains DNA. So that's where the cell's genetic information is going to be held, as well as any enzymes that cell's going to need for its duplication. Now, DNA and RNA are what we call nucleic acids, and they are made up of nucleobases. DNA contains adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine, and RNA contains adenine, guanine, cytosine, and uracil. And these nucleobases don't just randomly pair up to create that beautiful double helix structure of DNA we've all come to know and love. Adenine pairs with either thymine or uracil, and guanine pairs with cytosine. So I think that's going to conclude our tour of any generic cell. But the honest truth is, there really are no generic cells. But as we start to move forward with the more sciencey stuff, the basics become more important, not less. So if you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for videos coming every week. Thanks, guys. If you need to find a place to train, go to gymspot.fit. Tell us where you are, what you're looking for, and we'll take care of the rest. GymSpot, the world's best gym locator.